Hello, and thank you for joining us for the 6th Annual Global Summit on Kidney Disease Innovations, Vox Populi. The time is now to prevent and cure kidney diseases. This summit is hosted by the American Association of Kidney Patients in partnership with our allies from the George Washington University School of Medicine and Health Sciences. My name is Jonathan Haydak, and I am an AAKP Ambassador from the state of New York. I am also a former dialysis patient and current kidney transplant recipient. I was diagnosed with a rare form of glomerulonephritis at 22 and began dialysis treatment shortly thereafter. My personal journey with kidney disease inspired a career shift, and I have been pursuing a PhD focused on kidney research at Mount Sinai in New York City since 2019. Being a part of AAKP since 2018 has allowed me to advocate for kidney patients at the congressional level, contribute the patient perspective to innovative research initiatives, and connect with other passionate individuals. More broadly, AAKP membership means being part of a collective effort to improve the lives of kidney patients everywhere. This year's Global Summit theme, Vox Populi, was purposely and strategically chosen by AAKP for its historical meaning, Voice of the People. I am one of the people who has chosen to raise my voice in support of greater care choice and innovation in kidney care. And I am one of the voices demanding a change in status quo kidney medicine. Over 850 million individuals across the world have kidney disease. This number is increasing at an estimated rate of 5 to 7% annually. Every year, we lose thousands of innocent lives to preventable kidney issues and the lack of timely access to treatment. AAKP believes kidney disease is both a workforce and healthcare issue. The disease takes a devastating toll on human lives and livelihoods. Most people understand that kidney disease, left undetected and untreated, can lead to premature death. But many are not aware that it impacts a person's dignity and ability to provide for themselves and their families. Kidney disease and outdated treatments can lead to unemployment, underemployment, disability, and dependency. In 2019, AAKP declared the next 10 years the decade of the kidney. The time is now for kidney patient consumers, healthcare professionals, researchers, industry, and all people of goodwill to unite our voices and demand change. We are optimistic we can and will save more lives. But to do this, we must demand new screening guidelines and diagnostics, new biologics, and new devices. Together, we can manage and solve this growing global public health crisis. The time is now for elected and appointed leaders worldwide to listen to patient voices. Governments must remove the regulatory and payment barriers they create that delay innovation and prevent timely care access. If governments fail to act, we must raise our voices and demand an end to negative government determinants of health. Make no mistake, every nation is impacted by kidney disease and millions of people are at risk. The optimistic news is that every person watching this program today can help those impacted by kidney disease and make an impact within their own nation. Through AAKP Global, AAKP is educating patients, care partners, healthcare professionals, and policy leaders across the world on unmet patient needs. Our annual Global Summit on Kidney Disease Innovations has helped put a human face on what is now the 10th leading cause of death based on data from the World Health Organization. We have connected people across the globe in a common purpose larger than any one person or nation. Together, we have increased hope and optimism. So thank you for joining us. Your voice is the voice of the people, and you can count on AAKP to keep amplifying it throughout the world to create change. With that, I am honored to serve as the moderator for our session entitled Research and Innovation to Prolong Kidney Allograft Survival. Let's introduce our final speaker for today's session, Carrie DiMarzio, CEO and a member of the Board of Directors for BMI OrganBank. Carrie is a powerhouse at BMI OrganBank, leading a team of experts in perfusion technology. Their work is all about pushing the boundaries of organ transplantation and cutting-edge ex vivo laboratory research. These projects have the potential to save countless lives. Pretty amazing stuff. Carrie is also the mastermind behind partnerships with big names like the Wake Forest Institute for Regenerative Medicine, Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, Duke Ex Vivo Organ Laboratory, the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, and RegenMed Development Organization. On top of all that, Carrie sits on the Executive Leadership Council Board of RegenMed Development Organization. She's a pro at negotiating too. She scored emergency use authorization status from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for BMI OrganBank's supplement device during the COVID-19 pandemic. Right now, Carrie's focus is on getting OrganBank technology, a top-secret organ preservation system, through the FDA clearance project. She's a force to be reckoned with, that's for sure. So let's give a warm welcome to Dr. Carrie DiMarzio.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, AAKP, and thank you, George Washington University, for having me participate in this year's Global Summit. I'm Carrie DiMarzio, and I'm the CEO at BMI OrganBank. Thank you for your attention. I'm super excited to be here to share what my company is doing. Here quickly is our legal disclaimer. We are fortunate to have a great team and to be advised by some of the best minds in transplant. Just a few highlights. David Gerber, our CMO, has led or participated in over 40 industry trials. Our advisor, Prabir Roy Chowdhury, is a transplant nephrologist and incoming president of the American Society of Nephrology. Bob Neusner, a jack of all trades, he comes with many years in device and drugs at J&J, including development and commercialization. Also, you'll note from the bottom left that we have significant collaborations with Duke and other leading organizations. Now let's talk about why we wake up to go to work every morning at BMI OrganBank. Patients who develop chronic kidney disease due to diabetes, hypertension, or other common conditions, eventually the kidney totally fails and they must go on dialysis or have a transplant to stay alive. The patients who receive a kidney transplant tend to do very well. That's unfortunately not so true for patients on dialysis. This graph highlights the stark difference in outcomes. Most patients who receive a kidney are alive after 10 years. Unfortunately, only 12% of patients who receive dialysis are alive after 10 years. We could save many, many lives if everyone who needed a kidney transplant could get one. When patients need a kidney transplant, they go on a national waiting list. Wait times are measured in years, not months, and many will die waiting for a transplant. To put some numbers on it, the U.S. wait list is 88,000. Less than a third will get a transplant this year, and the wait list will continue to grow. You may know this, but there's also an overwhelming economic case for increasing kidney transplants. For Medicare and other payers, a lifetime of dialysis is crippling expensive. A kidney transplant pays for itself in less than 2 years. So they are highly supportive of these technologies that enable more of them. Our market at this time, the market space for kidney preservation devices is ripe for change. We're excited to offer this technology in a unique solution. Many customers are still in the dark ages using the ice cooler to preserve kidneys. There is also a device that came out about 20 years ago called LifePort, which only provides marginal improvements over ice. Our customers have been clear they need more time and more information. Now that we've covered the problem and the high unmet need, let's talk about the market potential. There's a very large market of 6.4 billion serviceable available market. I'll highlight that the majority of our market potential is from kidneys, and the U.S. accounts for about 45% of that. In this space of where we are addressing the problem and bringing a solution, we are also bringing and focusing on all stakeholders, transplant surgeons, transplant nephrologists, as well as the preservation time and offering organ assessment with our unique solution. BMI has a unique solution that will be new to the market. All devices today employ a hibernation strategy and attempt to slow down the consumption of oxygen and nutrients. This does not work very well. We have a perfected room temperature preservation. Rather than fight Mother Nature, we copy her by keeping the kidney awake and breathing. Already, we've had success consistently preserving human kidneys for 24 hours and longer. This will be transformative for our customers and the entire market space. Let's see what this means in the real world. On the left, you will see a modeled kidney that was rejected for transplant. After a few minutes on our device, you can see that this kidney already looks better, but what is unique is it still looks very healthy at 24 hours. You will see here that the transplant surgeon noted he would have transplanted this kidney. Now I'm going to share data that we recently reviewed with the FDA. They were very excited about this data. If you've ever looked at your own lab reports from your doctor, you may have seen creatinine levels listed. It's a measure of kidney function, and lower numbers are better. We conducted a study using pigs whose kidneys are almost identical to humans and accepted by FDA for preclinical data. Kidneys were removed from the pigs and preserved using either the current standard of care, and they were or cold preservation, or our device. Then those kidneys were transplanted back into the pigs, and they were followed for a week to see how well the kidneys did. The black line represents creatinine after cold preservation, and the blue line represents creatinine on our technology. Creatinine levels were approximately 50% lower with our device. This is a very large difference that is considered to be highly significant clinically. It strongly suggests that with our device, transplant recipients will be able to go home earlier from the hospital and have a lower risk of future failure of the transplanted kidney. We have a robust and growing product pipeline. For today, we're focusing on our flagship and first products, the OrganBank Transport and DVOL solution. The reusable OrganBank Transport device is on the left. We're launching for first in kidney, but will support other organs such as liver, which means that we can cost effectively launch into other organs. We've had a number of enabling patents on our devices. I would like to mention Dr. John Robertson, who's here with me today, was a designer and participated in the development of these prototypes. Next, we have a DVOL solution, which is a key enabler of room temperature preservation, which we have exclusively licensed from Duke University. No other solution in the marketplace can support room temperature preservation. We're also planning an AI-based product called Organ IQ that will use data from our devices to predict kidney viability. OrganBank Nest will add extra capabilities for large customers, and we have a full pipeline of devices for other organs as well. The most important feature of the market is that Medicare accounts for about 65% of kidney transplants. Because of how Medicare pays for organ transplants, the revenue model will be really quite simple. In a nutshell, we use a razor blade model. We will provide the device at low cost to customers and make our money on disposables and supplies, which must be replenished after every transplant. Our biggest customers will be organ procurement organizations. There's only 55 in the US, and they're responsible for procuring and transporting organs to transplant centers. The transplant centers pay the OPOs and are entitled to bill Medicare for the full cost of this organ procurement, including our device. Key points is that there is an existing Medicare payment system. This will greatly accelerate adoption compared to most other novel devices. You can find our preclinical data that I shared earlier in a respected transplant journal, Transplant Direct. These are a few highlights that we have recently accomplished this year. We signed an agreement with a flagship hospital of Advocate Healthcare to pilot our lead product for kidney. We completed due diligence and received an investment from Golden Seeds, a large angel network with extensive medical device experience. This helps accelerate the path forward, as well as we have received a great, fantastic score on an NIH peer-reviewed application for direct to phase 2 SBIR. To summarize our development plan, we plan to start our clinical trial early next year. We'll use our current $5 million raise to be ready for that. It's very exciting to be here to share this with you, to show you innovation that's coming into the market space, and to support what you guys ultimately drive why we wake up every morning here at BMI OrganBank. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Ms. DiMarzio, for your very insightful presentation. Before I let you go, I have a few questions for you. Number one, Ms. DiMarzio, in 2019, AAKP declared the coming decade as the decade of the kidney to encourage greater investments in kidney care innovations. How advanced is the technology for ex vivo perfusion and preservation, and what constraints does it face?
Thank you for that question, and great question. The advancement of ex vivo perfusion and technology is I'm excited to say, has advanced enough that it is ready for clinical trial. The results, preclinical data that we see give us a lot of confidence in our technology to be moving into that space in 2025. The constraints that it faces is likely going to be around the trial itself and just the education and understanding of what exactly ex vivo preservation is providing for the organ.
Ms. DiMarzio, AKP and our allies around the globe are intensely focused on innovations that can help reduce the organ waiting list and lead to more transplants. In what ways do you see ex vivo perfusion and preservation technologies changing clinical practice and patient care over the next 10 years or so?
Thank you. Here at BMI OrganBank, we believe that this technology will allow for utilization of organs to increase, as well as providing more time, which will enable transporting and matching of organs across the nation to be also higher, as well as time to allow transplant centers to have access for utilization and information about the kidney itself so that they understand the viability of it as they are provided assessment information.
And lastly, Ms. DiMarzio, how can patients use their voices and advocacy to encourage more widespread use of these technologies to help them become more accessible to the larger kidney community involved in transplant care?
Thank you. While patients are our number one priority in this space, they have the strongest voice and they can help bring these technologies and this innovation to the space by their voice of excitement and braveness and encouragement for utilization.
Thank you, Ms. DiMarzio, for your thoughtful presentation and for being a part of the AAKP Global Summit on Kidney Disease Innovation.